Have you ever planned to do something important? Study for an exam, go to the gym, clean your room, or finally work on that project you've been putting off for weeks. And then, somehow, you end up scrolling through your phone, watching random videos, or simply staring into space. You know exactly what you should be doing. You even want to do it. But your brain seems to have other plans. So why does doing nothing often feel so much easier than doing the things that actually matter? Are humans just naturally lazy? Or is there something much stranger happening inside our minds? We usually think of laziness as a personality flaw. Society celebrates discipline, productivity, and hard work. And if you're not productive enough, maybe you're just not trying hard enough. At least, that's what we're told. But here's the strange part. Almost everyone feels lazy sometimes. Students procrastinate, athletes skip workouts, writers avoid writing. Even highly successful people often describe long periods where they simply couldn't get themselves to start. If laziness is just a flaw, why is it so universal? And what if the feeling we call laziness isn't actually what we think it is? To answer that question, we need to travel back. Long before offices, long before smartphones, long before civilization itself, for almost all of human history, life was incredibly difficult. Our ancestors didn't have supermarkets. They didn't have refrigerators. They didn't have food delivery apps. If they wanted to eat, they had to hunt, gather, climb, carry, build, and survive every single day. And all of those things required one incredibly valuable resource: energy. In fact, energy was so valuable that wasting it could mean the difference between life and death. Now imagine two prehistoric humans. One spends all day running around and doing unnecessary things. The other only moves when there is a good reason to. When food is scarce. Who is more likely to survive? Ironically, probably the one we would call lazy. Natural selection didn't reward constant activity. It rewarded efficiency. Over thousands of generations, our brains evolved to ask a very simple question before doing almost anything. Is this really worth the energy? And if the answer wasn't obvious, the safest option was, often, to do nothing. The problem is that our world changed much faster than our brains did. Your ancestors evolved in a world where calories were scarce. You live in a world where food is everywhere. They evolved in a world where entertainment was rare. You carry an endless stream of entertainment in your pocket, and this creates a strange conflict. Your brain is constantly comparing rewards. Should it spend hours working on a difficult task that might pay off next month? Or should it tap a glowing screen that offers novelty, social interaction, funny videos, and tiny bursts of reward every few seconds? From the perspective of your ancient brain, the answer is obvious. Take the easy reward. Psychologists even have a name for this tendency: the law of least effort. The idea that humans naturally choose the path that provides the greatest reward for the smallest amount of effort. That doesn't necessarily mean we're broken. It means we're efficient. The problem is that modern technology has learned how to take advantage of this ancient survival system. Social media, games, notifications, infinite scrolling, they all compete for the same motivational circuits that once helped our ancestors stay alive. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your productivity. It may simply be doing exactly what millions of years of evolution trained it to do. But here's where things get even more interesting. Researchers now believe that procrastination isn't really about laziness at all. In many cases, it's about emotion. When a task feels overwhelming, uncertain, boring, or connected to the fear of failure, your brain tries to protect you by avoiding it. In other words, procrastination may not be a time management problem. It may be an emotion management problem. Your brain isn't always asking, "What is the most important thing I should do right now?" Sometimes it's asking something completely different. What is the least uncomfortable thing I can do right now? And checking your phone usually feels a lot less uncomfortable than starting a difficult project. So, are humans lazy? Maybe. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe what we call laziness is simply the shadow of an ancient survival strategy. A brain that evolved to conserve energy. A mind that avoids unnecessary risks. A nervous system that naturally prefers immediate rewards over uncertain futures. The strange truth is that you might not be struggling because your brain is defective. You might be struggling because your brain was designed for a world that no longer exists. A world where saving energy was survival, and understanding that doesn't magically solve procrastination, but it changes the story we tell ourselves. Maybe you're not weak, maybe you're not broken, maybe you're just carrying around a prehistoric brain, trying to survive in a modern world. Humans do a lot of strange things. We gossip, we compare ourselves to others, we overthink, we fall in love with the wrong people. We spend hours watching videos instead of doing the things we promised ourselves we'd do. And maybe none of those behaviors are random. Maybe they're clues, little pieces left behind by evolution, waiting for us to understand them. Because every strange thing humans do is one more piece of the puzzle. The human puzzle. One question, one answer, one piece of the puzzle.